It was actually a last minute kind of spur of the moment after work, let's go fishing kind of deal. And we went down to the spot that we normally go to.
I hooked up to a fish and I was reeling them in, fighting the fish away from the side and pushed me into the water. So I was just panicking.
I ended up in the water because I actually saw the wave knock him off and I was kind of like hanging on the side of the cliff with the rope.
I tried a few times. I got onto the rocks, but then I just got pounded right back off and then sucked down. Got all cut up, started bleeding.
After trying to get back on the rocks a couple of times, and we realized that the waves were picking up and it wasn't going to happen. We were going to try to make it onto the beach at Waipio. Then it was nighttime and it was pitch black and we couldn't see anything and nobody knew we were there.
I just was treading water and my hand just hit a stick and I grabbed the stick.
And it kept us together. Really didn't help us float much. We heard this splash and I felt something rough brush up against me and I freaked out and he kind of panicked a little, and I don't think that either of us thought that there was sharks around us. That thought didn't even go through our mind.
We decided to swim back towards where we fell in. We were freezing. Tried to cuddle in the water, didn't work at all. Kept checking on each other.
Every 5 minutes, are you still there?
Someone's coming.
Yeah.
And we just were staring towards Hilo, just waiting for the sun for a long time.
When I saw the sun come up, I was kind of like, this isn't a dream, like this is not good, we're still here, we're still in the water. I remember we saw the tour helicopters. He kept saying, you know, don't get excited, like don't waste your energy and get excited because they might not be even looking for us.
It's just one of those perfect mornings, really. Took off out of Kona on one of our normal flights, and it was just a glassy, perfect day on the water. There wasn't any wind caps. Kind of as it swing out off the shoreline, I kind of catch a white dot out in the water off my right side. It just stood out for some reason. What it initially caught my eye was the big black shape swimming under the water. I mean, here's this big old shark. I mean, I've seen a lot of tigers, and this is substantially bigger than most of them that I see. And it's splashing, so I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's a whale or a dead dolphin and there's something feeding. So I mean, I saw 3 sharks when I first came in. Kind of noticed, it's like, wait, this doesn't look right. And that's when I picked out arms and legs, you know, and side by side and the white splashing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's people. At that point, it was like, do I call 911? Who do I call? And I actually, I called our chief pilot at Paradise. Koji was right there, and Koji was like, hey, got you in sight. And I kind of flew off towards Waipi'o. And by the time I got to Waipi'o, I heard Calais coming over the ridge.
We flew over towards the east side, over towards Kukuihaele. We could see that there was a helicopter that was hovering very low toward the water. From what I remember, it was Koji Sato from Paradise Helicopters. I know a few Paradise Helicopters took turns kind of sitting there and hovering over.
Once we arrived on scene and saw those 2 parties in the water surrounded by those large sharks, it was definitely a moment I have never encountered before in my career.
Chopper 2 was circling a pair of people in the water and trying to chase tiger sharks away from them.
Our Waipi'o net was out of commission at the time, and we were very limited on what we could do.
The only thing we could really do was to kind of create a buffer.
I couldn't get there fast enough. Once I actually got on scene, I could see one large tiger shark circling. So I deployed the rescue net, the Waipi'o, tried to get them both into the net.
The pilot was kind of yelling at us both to like, hurry up and get in.
There were 2 sharks. One was circling and the other shark was beneath them, just staring at them, maybe 5 feet beneath them.
I mean, we were out there. We were far out there. We didn't realize how far out there we were until we were, you know, in the air. And I remember I kind of just snuggled up to him and I was just like relieved and I kind of just like humbled.
I was really pleased to hear that so many people that were flying that day were able to come together like a community and help.
I mean, it is a small island. We're all here to kind of help each other out. There really is kind of a sense of camaraderie. So we got just a lot of support from the guys at Paradise.
When I was young, I had a brother that passed away. And I think he was with us that day.
Our angels were working overtime. We still have a wedding to plan, and we're thankful that we get that day to get married, and we're beyond blessed to have been rescued that day. I mean, we kept telling each other that we're going to survive for our families, and that was our drive.